Chilly again today, but the sun is actually shining and it's not raining, so I'm gonna finish up some of the stuff I started yesterday. I did get my seeds started, so that's a good thing. And after little dude went to bed, I started cleaning out the duck house. I have one more load to dump, and then I'm gonna build a little wall in there today so that I can move my ducklings out there. They will have a little bit of a heat source for another week or two, but I'm getting them out of my house today. The geese are helping me make sure the mower's ready to go. Yeah, is it good? Did you check the oil? Did you check the oil? You have to check the oil. All right, loaded up, oiled up, gassed up, ready to go. Just gotta dump this last load, build a wall in there, and put in new shavings. So I brought some wood up from the barn because we have lots of scrap wood. And I'm going to use the scrap wood for the in-coop duck brooder. But I don't really have a plan on how I'm building it. I know that it's going to be like a square. It's going to be big enough for the kiddie pool. And I'll explain the kiddie pool later. It's not for it's for water, but not for water. So right now I'm just going to get some tools together. I'm going to move the saw outside so I can cut some wood. I gotta find the screws because Bill organized the screws and I don't know where they are. And gonna get started on this project, see how far I can get before little dude wakes up. It's kind of a marathon. It's fun. I hate nap time. I really hate nap time because I want to play with my little dude. He's my little sidekick. And he's sleeping. And you can't wake up a sleeping baby because that's against the rules and you'll have a really bad time. But at the same time, I love nap time because I can get some bigger projects done that require more of my attention that I can't do also while watching and playing with him. So right now, like I said, I am stealing my favorite power tools from the garage. I gotta find the screws, I gotta move the saw, and I should probably bring a tape measure and a pencil too. I think that's all I need. I hope. I'm kind of impressed with myself. I didn't have a plan. I just knew that I needed to section off about half because the adult ducks and geese don't even use the coop except to lay the occasional egg, and they sleep outside, so they don't really need much space inside. And I needed enough space for the kiddie pool to fit, which again, I promise I'll explain that later. But other than that, I didn't have a plan. Guys, look at this. I am so proud of myself. It's not perfect, it's very temporary, but I think that once we're introducing these younger ducks to the adult flock and we take this out, we can put it aside and use it again for the next batch. I'm so proud of myself. Duck house brooder went together pretty quick, and I finished assembling it just in time for little dude to wake up. So here's my little dude. Say hi, bud. Hi. He has a chocolate face because we may or may not have had some chocolate frosted donuts after he had his bottle. So now I've got the shavings in there. I've got the kiddie pool set up. I need to put some of my tools away, and I need to bring the food, the water, and the heat source, and then the duckies outside, and everything should be good to go. I'm really excited about this because I don't want ducks in my basement anymore. And of course, once little dude goes down for another nap, yeah. You got the giggles? I think he's got the giggles. Once he goes down for another nap, I will bring all the ducks out. I'm not going to do that while he's here. I do still have some stuff to... What are you doing? Thank you. I do still have some old bedding to get rid of. I originally was going to leave their nest, the duck's nest, in the house, but I ended up using the corner that the nest was in, and some of the eggs in there were pretty old and no one was really sitting. My goose recently got off the nest, but she had some ducks going and they are all failed now. So I'm going to get rid of that nest, start collecting eggs tomorrow, and we'll move the duckies out today, and then we won't have duckies in the house anymore. We might even be moving the turkeys out today if I can get the chicken coop clean. The ducks are outside, and I figured I'd show you and explain why I keep talking about a kiddie pool. So I'm going to turn the camera around. So these are the ducklings, and here is my kiddie pool. I like using the big dog water because it gives them water that's deep enough for them to flush their sinuses, And I like keeping it in a kiddie pool with some shavings because it contains the absolute mess that they make. And it'll keep all this bedding over here usable. And the only bedding that will get really gross really fast is what's in the kiddie pool. Super easy to clean out, and it keeps the water mess from spreading. A cup of coffee getting ready for me because it got a little chilly out. And go take a look at everything that I accomplished today. Kind of proud of myself. I almost forgot my chocolate milk. I put chocolate milk in my coffee. I started doing that when I was pregnant because I was having trouble gaining weight. So I was trying to get calories any way I could. And adding chocolate milk to my coffee was one of those ways. And I just haven't been able to stop putting chocolate milk in my coffee. Tastes good. I prefer raw cow's milk, but I haven't bought any time recently. Not since finding the chocolate milk. But if you are looking for a really smooth, creamy cup of coffee, try raw cow's milk, as long as it's legal where you are. I know that's a really weird concept, milk not being legal, but some states do have regulations on unprocessed cow's milk. So I've got my coffee, and I also had to change my clothes because it was a little too warm for a sweatshirt, too cold for a tank top. When I cleaned the chicken coop, it was perfect for a t-shirt, but now I'm not cleaning the chicken coop, and it's cooled down a little bit. So let's go check out the chicken coop. Well, hello. Yeah? So this is itty bitty. Usually we don't keep smaller breed chickens, but we have itty bitty, and it looks like you guys already pooped in your food. So when it comes to the chickens and their food, I pretty much just fill their bowl all the time. I'll actually top it off before I leave the coop. But here is my chicken coop. That is my in-house brooder that has my rooster's poop on it that is cemented on. I can't get it off. I'll have to pressure wash it, and I don't feel like doing that today. My feed board that tells me, or anyone that may need to come in and feed my animals for me. We got the chickens, we've got the 2 goats, we've got the ducks. I actually need to redo this now that we have the brooders going, because welcome to spring. And then just some extra notes. In this barrel here, it's a favorite poop spot. I have goat grain. There actually might be sweet feed in there right now, I think. Yeah. I need to buy actual grain. And then over here, we have my coffee on top of the chicken's food. And then I keep unopened bags in this giant toolbox, which we happen to get for free. And then we have our nesting boxes that have survived a couple years and clearly are well loved and used and pooped on. But honestly, is it really a chicken coop if everything isn't covered in chicken poop? Asking the real questions here. So yeah, I'll be moving my turkeys into this brooder tonight. I think what I'm going to do is drill a hole on either side of that peak of the roof there so that I can hang their water with some baling twine as opposed to leaving it on the ground where they're just going to scratch shavings into it. I think that the 6 of them will be okay in there for a week or so until I can let them loose and integrate them into the flock. I find that using a brooder or something like this in my coop really helps with introducing new birds to the existing flock. I didn't get anything done today in relation to the raised beds or any gardens or anything. I had plans to try and find some decomposing logs in the woods to put in the bottom of my raised beds. I just didn't get that far. Little dude is on his 3rd nap of the day, and I'm getting tired. My dog is, my 2 girls, Katrina and Izzy, have no chill. They are 100% go 100% of the time. And when I went down to the barn earlier to get some scrap wood in the trailer, they were running around like the crazy kids that they are. And Katrina ran into the trailer with her back leg, and she's not feeling great. I'm going to have to keep an eye on her. Never a dull day here, like I said. So I didn't get anything done with the gardens today, but I did get the coops cleaned out. I got the meat birds have been out. I moved the ducks out, which I'm so excited about. And I will be moving the turkeys out. That will leave me with... How many chickens do I have downstairs? 12 plus 6 plus 1. So 19. I think I have 19 chickens in the basement right now. I probably could move them out too. Maybe put them in with the meat chickens, but I think I'll leave them in the house for a little bit longer. Maybe build another brooder, but probably not. I think I'll just wait for the turkeys to integrate into the flock and then move the bigger layer chickens out into the brooder. And then once they're integrated with the flock, move the smaller layer breed chickens out into the flock or the brooder. There's a lot to do. It's the springtime shuffle and I love it. It's so much fun. And of course, like I got all the bedding from the coops into the compost pile out front, which thankfully we have a nice spot that I can dump the trailer and it's not visible from the house as long as I push it over the hill. But I do still have the bedding from the brooders in the basement that I need to load up and move. I'll get rid of that, and I need to clean the last brooder that has the chickens in it. They're actually in a big round kids playpen right now, which has worked out great. I put some bird netting over the top because they started to fly a little bit, but the bird netting keeps them in the playpen. It's got the taller sides. It's a nice size around. It gives them plenty of space to run around, space for their food and water. They've been off heat because they're in the basement and it doesn't get super cold down there. So right now I actually have their heat plate just supporting their water so that they don't just push shavings into it 52 times a day. Which is, like I said, I want to hang the turkeys' water in the coop so they don't do that in the coop. It's a little bit harder to get the water in and out of that little brooder, so having it last as long as possible is hugely beneficial. If I could hang their water in the basement without building something to hang it from, I would. But it's temporary in the basement. They don't stay out there very long, so I'm not going to go through the trouble of trying to design something to hang their water and food from when I can just boost it up off the ground on something. So yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, I still gotta move the turkeys, and that'll leave just the chickens in the basement. The meat birds, I redid their food and I gave them like 3 times as much food as they need, plus their 3.5, I think it's 3.5 gallon thing of water. I cleaned and refilled that today. The ducks in the duck house, they have their food and water and I need to get their heat source out to them. Turkeys will go in here. The goats and chickens in the back here should be all set for the night. I might give the goats a little bit more hay. I'm gonna pull Juke out, put her on a lead and tie her to the side of the coop so that she can get as much grain as she wants because Patches is a bully, and I think we should be good for the night. Little dude's about halfway through a nap right now, so I got a couple minutes to do a few more things before it's playtime. I called it. Nap time's over. Hey, buddy. I know you're a little upset, huh? Yeah, that was a short nap. Yeah. Do you want to help Mommy move some turkeys? Do you want to move some turkeys? Yeah, let's go move some turkeys. You got stuffy nose? That's a booger nose. We're gonna go move some turkeys. Yeah. It is 9:30 at night. I'm gonna wrap up the video for today. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video every day. I may not. There will probably be large gaps between videos. It's cooled down a little bit. I got the ducklings that were moved outside today all set for the night. I made them a little cuddle cubby. The turkeys are in the chicken coop. The chickens that have been living in the chicken coop are pretty upset and confused right now because when I cleaned their coop earlier, I kind of rearranged some things too, and their nesting boxes with the roost on top is now on a different wall as opposed to the wall that it lived on before. And the wall that it was on before now has my big toolbox that I keep the feed in and a bucket. And so I've got a few chickens that are sitting on top of the toolbox and the bucket, and they look very peeved. So I didn't get everything done today that I wanted to get done. There was one more big thing on my list. I wanted to get the brooders cleaned out that were in the basement, that the turkeys and the ducks were in. I didn't get to that today. That's going to have to be a tomorrow project. Tomorrow I also have to get moving on filling the raised beds before all the dirt that we had delivered ends up around the pond, which is one of the big reasons that we got so much. But I do need to get some into the raised beds before we use it all up. So yeah, it's been a busy day. We got a lot accomplished, and hopefully tomorrow is just as productive.